This is my heat map widget presentation for my final project with the goal to turn information from a point layer showing new businesses that opened in DC in 2013 and turn that into a heat map just like this. As you can see, there's 313 businesses that opened in DC in 2013, and while I was configuring the heat map widget, I was able to add some subcategories as well. And so just to make this easy, there's 313 companies that opened, but if I just want to look at banks, I can choose that sublayer, and as you can see, it automatically filters out all the non-banks, or just shows the banks that opened up in 2013. So I thought that was a nice way to kind of query the database, just looking for the specific businesses that you want. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit better, kind of a neighborhood level, what's happening in terms of where the clusters of businesses are opening. My base map is from DCGIS. I'm pulling it from them, so that saved me a lot of time since they had already created a base map for DC. You can also see that the heat map widget only shows information that's kind of in your view extent. Right now it's showing 172, so it ignores businesses that are not kind of shown on the map. I also enabled the edit widget, and this is so you could add businesses, or so a user could add businesses. And so I'll do that now just for the demo. And so we'll just put it right up here. Actually, I'm going to move it here. There's actually two fields for this, and I'll show you why there's two fields for this in a moment. But we'll say 2013, and then in November, and then the NAICS code I happen to know that off the hand, so I'm just going to say 722. And so what's interesting about this widget is actually I did not even have to pull in a feature service layer to make the widget work. It basically, you just point it to your REST services, and it picks up on that. However, in order to edit the information or add new businesses, then you had to add a feature service. And so I'm just going to turn off the hotspots. And you can see again, here is my Chad's Tavern. But now if I turn the hotspots back on, there you go. You can see that the widget, the hotspots widget, heat map, excuse me, widget automatically picked up that there's a new business that opened up or that we recorded. So that's a nice little tool. I'm going to zoom back out and oops. That's the other thing. I added a bookmarks widget, and that's an easy way to get around the city, just in case someone is not that familiar with or doesn't want to use the pan tool. And so I just want to show the heat map. And so as I mentioned before, we actually have the year that the business opened and then the actual date. And the reason we have the actual date is that you can turn on the time enabled, and then you can basically have a nice little presentation showing when businesses open throughout the year. And so this is a cumulative, and so it just keeps on adding every month the new businesses that open. So I thought this was a neat little feature, more for presentation purposes, but just a way to see, okay, where for a particular month, where did the businesses open up throughout the city. And then the final widget I included was the Google Maps, Google Street View, and I thought this was important for kind of data verification. And so, for example, this particular point, business is called Ted's Bulletin, and maybe you're in your office and you just want to know, well, is that point actually in the right location? And so you can see it turned on the Street View widget, and now I can just kind of turn the image, and there I see, okay, Ted's Bulletin, that's actually at that location. So again, just a way to verify the data, which I thought was very useful. And I did include one more widget, which is the search widget, and basically this is kind of a way to do a spatial query. I'll turn that off. And so basically you can kind of create a polygon, turn that on, and it'll create a list of all the businesses that you just selected for that particular area. So again, just thought it was an interesting way on a neighborhood scale to understand, or any kind of geography, what are the businesses that are in that particular area that I drew. So hopefully you enjoyed my presentation, and thank you so much.